Hi folks, welcome back to the Lowland League Catchup, and this week it's myself, Derek, and I am joined by Shaun. How you doing, mate?
Really good, thanks. How about yourself?
Same old, getting into the Lowland football and all sorts of whatever other football's going about. You might notice that Chris isn't with us. Poor boy's still recovering from the old firm, so go easy on him this week, will you? Definitely not encouraging you to send him some banter on Twitter. But without further ado, we'll get stuck right into all the games that have just happened this weekend. And as usual, afterwards we'll look at the weekend to come as well. So we get started with Bonnyrigg Rangers at home to Civil Service Strollers. And I'll run you through this one. This was a really interesting game. It was pretty difficult for both sides because there was a high wind going around Shieldfield. Bonnyrigg took the lead with Barr slotting in from close range. After the initial chance came through, Smith playing a ball through to Healy, but he headed it over, so not long afterwards they broke the deadlock. Almost instantly, Strollers equalised from a defensive mix-up, and this is something that's becoming a bit commonplace now with the wee Rangers, that Matthew Cunningham nipped in and levelled the scores between the keeper and the defender. It was just a bit of a kind of mix-up of who was getting the ball, and it allowed the striker to nip in and stick the ball away in the back of the empty net. From there, chances were going either way. Barr had one of the main ones, keeper saved it with his foot. So there was a corner for Bonnyrigg after that. Darryl Healy getting the ball, great turn, but he couldn't keep his shot down. And that was the way it was at half-time, 1-1. Into the second half, and basically Strollers started to take a wee bit of control and managing. Bonnyrigg actually said themselves managing the conditions a bit better. However, the Rangers still had their chances. There was a cross in from wall punch cleared by the keeper when it looked like it was ready to nest on the back of the net. Ricky Miller at the other end was again having a good game for Bonnyrigg. He's seemingly been a very good signing. But he couldn't do anything about Strollers taking the lead, which was a move through the middle of the park. Cammy Muirhead firing into the back of the net after Jack Hodge placed him in, following advantage given by the referee. There was a foul in the midfield. It seems like Bonnyrig's players didn't really react too well. They figured the free kick was going to get given and Strollers took full advantage, basically. From there, there wasn't too much else to write home about for the home side. Ricky Miller fired a long range shot and just wide a couple of minutes before Strollers clinched it and made it 3-1. It's a Cammy Muirhead brace. Again, a great ball by Jack Hodge, and the same two doing the business. There wasn't too much after that. There was a free kick again Ricky Miller took from the edge of the box, ended up cleared for a corner after he floated it in. Brennan actually made a really good save to keep the scores 3-1 in the end. But from what I've seen and from what a lot of the fans have said, Strollers and Bonnyrigg Rangers, it just seemed to be that Civil coped better with the conditions.
It shouldn't really come as a surprise now that we're seeing Civil Service do this, even though it somehow appears to come across as a surprise sometimes that they are as dominant as they are. But do you know what? They've had a fantastic start to the season. They're sitting third in the league. And it sounds like it was a deserved win for these guys as well. Bonnyrigg, it's still a bit early days to judge on their side, but there's been a few disappointing points dropped early on in the season. They're still the side that's played the least number of games at this point in the season, but we do want to see them start to, string a few good results together if they're wanting to get themselves away from the foot of the table. Being the side that's dropped down out of SPFL 2, they're not going to want to see themselves in a relegation battle for a second year in a row. And yeah, I suppose credit to Civil Service because outstanding job. And as was mentioned on our Twitter site, Civil, they're the only team to take points for Bonnyrigg so far, so I don't think it's a fluke, and I don't think Saturday's result is a case of just going up against a weaker side. I think Civil are doing what they need to do, so I'm been pretty impressed with them so far. A fantastic start to the season.
Civil have kind of gone under the radar, let's be honest. A lot of attention's been on the likes of Kelty, Stirling, East Kilbride, but they've started really, really well, the same as they did last season. So Civil's had a brilliant start to the season. We've tweeted out about it for the official Catchup account. They were going to be in that chasing back There's no doubt about that. They've proven that they're just as good as they were last year, if not better. From the results they've got, including the Bonnyrigg one you mentioned. In terms of what Berwick have been doing, they're still looking to get a bit of consistency and string some results together, aren't they? At this point, they got a monkey off the back by getting their first win, but ultimately they want to get 2 or 3 in a row and get moving. The squad's beginning to settle down, and Ricky Miller's certainly been a good addition from what we can tell, but we'll see. The jury's still out, I think, and that's not just from ourselves, that's from their own set of supporters, from what I can see as well. But yeah, that leads us into the second game of the slate, which was Bonnyrigg Rose playing home to Caledonian Braves and table-topping Bonnyrigg Rose at this point in the season. So, do you want to run us through that one?
Bonnyrigg welcomed Caledonian Braves along to New Dundas Park, like you say, sitting comfortably at the top of the league, and welcoming a Cali Braves team that they stumbled a little bit in the last couple of games, but they've had a decent start to their season, and they can't really grumble. But a run through the game first and foremost. It was actually Bonnyrigg that opened the scoring pretty early on. It was 8 minutes in that the corner was headed in at the back post by Danny Bauer to make it 1-0 to the home side. Relatively quiet with both teams sort of fending off some good defending to keep the game at 1-0. Bonnyrigg had a chance to double their lead, but Curry's spot kick was saved by Marshall in the Braves goal to keep the score at 1-0, and that's how the game went into half-time. Not content with the 1-0 lead though, Bonnyrigg did come out, and on the 46th minute it was Rose that doubled their lead, and it was Danny Bauer again who made it 2, so for the big defender there, 2 goals after 46 minutes. Relatively quiet again up until the 81st minute, and then it was a peach of a strike from Dean Brett, who, special shout out, made his 100th appearance for the Rose, and yeah, netted away comfortably to make it 3-0, and to be honest, to give Bonnyrigg a relatively comfortable win there. Had a tremendous start to their season. That's them sitting at the top of the table. They've yet to be beaten. Only points getting dropped to civil service strollers in a game that, do you know what, it was right to the death, if I remember rightly, that they were able to steal a point, if you like, from a very good civil service strollers. Caledonian Braves, on the other hand, very impressive at the beginning of the season, but it's seeming a little bit of a same old. With Edu Sport last season, with a bit of inconsistency. They've gone from beating East Kilbride to dropping points to BSC to beating University Stirling to now dropping points for Bonnyrigg. So it seems to be a bit of an up and down sort of journey for Caledonian Braves at the moment. Bonnyrigg, well done. They've been superb. They're, came into the league, made a bit of noise, and do you know what, they're sitting at the top of the table now. They can make as much noise as they like for as long as they can keep that up. What's your thoughts on the Cali Braves? We obviously saw them pretty early on in the season. Thought they were a good outfit, but is it just a rebranded, renamed Edu Sport all over again? Well,
I feel like I've seen 2 teams, because when we saw the Cali Braves Kelty game, they were certainly impressive that day. The team that played against BSC after that wasn't the same team. They were just really lacking in defence, but their 2 first choice centre backs were out. So you could kind of understand it. They pitched in a trialist that wasn't ready to play, and it just didn't go well, ultimately. But I don't know, I think you're onto something there, that the way Edu Sport played last season, they had a very, very decent first 11, and behind that the depth was a wee bit lacking. I feel like we're kind of in a similar position with them this season, now that, even with the rebranding and all that. So I do think you need to give credit to Rose though, because you've got a group of guys there that have been very steady. They've not changed too much for last season. We knew they had talent in their squad already. They've hit the ground running and have taken advantage of any opportunities they've had. So it says a lot about keeping squad harmony and building the right way, doesn't it? That they've just came up to this new league and they've not had an issue so far. basically. Obviously, there's bigger games to come, and we'll see how they go. But for now, you've got to realistically look at Rose and say they're going to be in that title chasing hunt as well. For Cali, I think they might just be on the outside looking in from the evidence we've seen, unless it can get everyone fit and keep them fit. That would be the main contention I think I'd have. But how about yourself? What do you reckon about Bonnyrigg?
Obviously, watching last season and watching what Kelty were able to do when they first came into the league, it seems like a similar story. I don't believe for any length of time that means that Bonnyrigg are going to do the same as Kelty and drop points in the second half of the season. But it is a long season, and we've seen it already with Kelty, Shire, East Kilbride, that BSC, that all teams are going to drop points, and I'll be very surprised to see Bonnyrigg go undefeated for the whole season, and I would love to see them do it. But when they do falter, when they do drop points, they take their first loss, perhaps even at some point back-to-back losses. It'll be interesting to see how they react, and if they lose some of those key players, they've got some decent squad depth there. You see some really good players sitting on the bench, but it'll be interesting. Yeah, we kind of need a larger sample, and I'm very cautious because I saw Kelty dominate early on last season and take that momentum from winning the East of Scotland the year before. I've kind of seen it before, but this Bonnyrigg side, do you know what? I don't know if they're maybe a step above the Kelty side that came from the East of Scotland. They've got some really good players in there.
Yeah, absolutely. But the next game we're going to cover again is another team that you would think are going to be in the running at home, BSC Glasgow. And it was Vale of Leithen visiting, who have had a pretty tough start overall. But this game kind of went as we would have expected, in that it started off with BSC on the front foot. Martin Green with a chance to open the scoring after all of 4 minutes, with McQueen spilling across, but he poked it just wide, bit of a let off. And Vale actually had a really good chance a couple of minutes later for a similar situation. Liam Ireland ended up smashing the side netting, so they had their opportunities. But 16 minutes on the clock, Martin Green again, his scuff shot broke through to Thomas Collins and he put it just wide. Couple of minutes after that, again BSC at this point now really pushing. Michael Anderson charging down the right, managed to pick out Jamie Hamilton in the middle, and he hit the woodwork, absolutely scalped it off the upright. That was just kind of a sign of what was about to come though. 20 minutes on the clock and BSC got the first goal. Tamor latching onto a long ball on the counter-attack, playing in Jamie Mills, who did what he's perhaps best doing in the box and squared it for Thomas Collins to finish. Sorry, Jamie. But it started things moving, and at this point you felt that BSC were going to go and put any amount of goals in. 27 minutes on the clock, it was 2. Ross McMillan, bullet header, as he's always a massive threat from set pieces and balls into the box. Callum Hall tried to clear it off the line, but the power behind the ball was just enough to put it into the roof of the net, and he just couldn't keep it out. And a few minutes after that, on the half-hour mark, Declan Hughes almost made it 3. Vicious low drive from the edge of the box. McQueen actually did well to get down and save it. One last chance before half-time, and it was another defensive mix-up at BSC's end of the pitch, where Ryan Marshall and Ross Smith get a bit confused. Lyle Smith managed to nip in to get a 1-on-1 with the keeper, but he put it wide of the target when he probably should have done better. So 2-0 half-time, and from there the second half went very much as the first, and BSC were in the ascendancy. Jamie Hamilton went an amazing run just before the hour mark. McQueen managed to get down and cover the ball though. A few minutes later, 65 on the clock, Michael Anderson, who was getting a run out, one of his first kind of starts this season, managed to mosey his way into the Vale box. Again, his low strike was dealt with by McQueen, who by this point was having a pretty decent game. Jer Rossi then got, I don't know if we'll call this a dubious honour of being the first player I've ever seen to get 2 yellow cards in the space of 30 seconds. So 77 minutes, goes into the book for dissent, and then straight away afterwards Rose gets a second yellow. I'm assuming it was more dissent. But yeah, he went down the tunnel, and no sooner had he left the pitch than BSC sealed the deal with a third goal. Tom Collins latching onto a through ball and lifting it over the on-rushing McQueen into the back of the net. So that was pretty much all there was to kind of tell about. One last chance right at the death. Ball in from Robbie Duncan, who came off the bench, found the head of Tam Orr. Unlike Tam, he couldn't quite get enough on it and it slipped away. So 3-0 full time, and another good result at home for BSC, but Vale again still looking for something that will get them kicked on and get started.
BSC though, you'd expect them to go out and dominate, and they've done just that. And yeah, BSC, like a lot of other teams, they've had a really good start to the season, and they've had some tough games already. They've played against your Shire and your Spartans. I think next week will be an interesting one when we get to next week's fixtures. For Vale though, I suppose I've sort of got a question for you on this one. At what point do you think Vale do have to start to panic a little bit? I mean, we're only 7 games in, but at some point you've got to take that only away. A few stats, on Vale even were sitting 7 games in, they've lost 7, they've only scored 2 goals and they've conceded 31. They have played against Gallifrey, Dean Rovers and Edinburgh University. In the same breath, they've still got to play Gretna twice, Dalbeattie twice, Edinburgh University, they've still got to play them down at Innerleithen, and dare I say it, they've still got to play Berwick Rangers as well. So is it too early for them to start panicking with some potential points still on the board a bit further down the line, or if you're a Vale fan, should you be worried just now?
You should definitely be worried, but you shouldn't be panicking. I think it's the easiest way to sum it up. Maybe panic in the second half of the season if you're sitting at the wrong end and thinking, where's our next points coming from? But it's still early enough that they had a fair few additions to that squad who will still be bedding in and getting used to what Ando's trying to get them to do. They've had a tough run of games. Take nothing away from it. I know you mentioned Gala and Edinburgh Uni as games they would have targeted and maybe getting something out of, but they're two sides that have probably confounded expectations early doors and got more points than people expected. So it's not a panic yet, but I can guarantee you that Ando will be concerned. And the main reason he'll be concerned is exactly what you mentioned at the very start. That goal difference isn't pretty. They need to stop conceding so many goals and they need to start hitting the net. Otherwise, we could be looking at another Whitehill welfare situation if it's not stopped quickly.
Dalbeattie have only scored the 1 so far. Edinburgh Uni have only picked up the 3 points against Vale Leithen. Gretna have only scored the 3 goals. So, I think when you initially look at it, you kind of do worry for Vale, but they do still have Gretna Dalbeattie to play twice, and they've got Edinburgh Uni at home to come along, so there are chances there. And I've not had a look at their full fixtures for the season, but I imagine that a lot of those games are going to be clustered together, so you could see them rise quite quickly. And personally, obviously, I went and saw Vale against Edinburgh Uni, and they're two teams that have got very capable players within their side that are capable on their day doing something for their team. It was a case of that finishing touch that was just missing, but a lot of the time that comes from momentum. And if Vale have got a cluster of games together against some of the teams around about them, we could potentially see them run about. But I just think it's an interesting point because it does look a bit daunting for Vale, but when you actually sit down and look at some of the teams that they've played against, they've got some favourable fixtures coming up. Yeah,
bang on. And I think, to be honest, we'll probably sit down at the halfway point and proper assess this. Those teams that you've mentioned in the same breath there, ultimately their survival will be based on their games against each other. We've said this several times before, haven't we? So if Vale can get things sorted where they can take the 3 points off of the likes of Gretna and Dalbeattie, they'll feel a lot better about life. Put it that way. But that's why it's not a panic for now, but I definitely would be concerned with any of these teams, but we'll discuss them in more detail, no doubt, as we go through these results. The flip side, in terms of BSC, do you reckon that Swifties going to get these boys back in the title race again?
The BSC, they've played 6 and they've won 4. They're by no means out of it. They've got a game in hand over the 4 sides that are sitting above them, and they are a team that I think are quite consistent. They went up against that Shire team that have heavily invested and managed to pull out a 1-1 draw. We spoke about it at the beginning of the season, and I think one of the advantages to BSC, similar to Bonnyrigg, with the exception that BSC have been in this league for a few years, is that continuity. They've got a lot of the same guys that are still kicking about there, and everything you hear, there's a really good atmosphere and a real good feel around the club. So I'd be shocked to see BSC fall away, and I think they've had a better start. Not necessarily a better start than we thought they would, but I think some other teams around them perhaps haven't had as good a start as we were expecting, which has kind of put BSC a little bit ahead of where I maybe thought they would be even 7 games in. I think they've had a really good start, and they've got some favourable fixtures coming up as well. I really can't wait till next week, so I can't wait to talk about it either, but we'll do previews. Previews obviously a wee bit later on, but no, I think I would be happy if I was a BSC Glasgow supporter.
Well, in that case, let's fire on. Next up, Dalbeattie start at home to Stirling.
It was Shire making the long trip down. I think they're looking like they're getting a bit stronger as it goes on, and it was another frustrating day for Star, I believe. It took 32 minutes for Shire to open the scoring. It was Matty Flynn who was able to finish with an excellent Shire move as the ball rebounded back off the post, and Flynn was able to take a nice easy touch and finish from 8 yards to give those guys the lead. It remained 1-0 to Shire at half time, probably a result that, to be honest, quite pleased with. They'd done enough to, for the most part, keep Shire out of the goal, but it was a bit more of a disappointing second half for them. It did take a wee while, a good 20 minutes for Shire to get going, but it was the ex-Spartan player Jamie Dishington who was able to grab her second. It was a cross from Bobby Barr that was juggled by the keeper, bobbled away, and Jamie Dishington was able to calmly roll the ball into the empty net there. Twitter feed actually says that he was able to calmly side foot the sprawling keeper, which I think maybe if that is what happened, it perhaps shouldn't have been a goal, but I'm pretty sure that's a typo. So
I'm sure he wouldn't mess with Vinnie Parker either.
No, absolutely not. So Jamie Dishington on the scoreboard again there, and then as we close towards the end of the game, it was Nicky Lowe, this time with his feet and not the header. 83 minutes, a long through ball, and Shaun Brown was able to bulldoze his way through the defence, taking out 3 defenders, according to the Shire Twitter feed. He was able to get to the line, and he rolled it back basically just for Nicky Lowe to slot it home and make it 3-0. And then Shaun Brown involved on the 4th, this time getting the goal. On the 85th minute, it was a cross from Orr that found Brown at the back post, and his header hits the post, comes back to Miller, who controls and backheels the ball across the 6-yard box for Brown to roll the ball in. That was the final result, 4-0 to Shire. Yet to have a look over the highlights for this one, but it seems like it was a bit frustrating for Star. A lot of doing well to keep them out of the goal, but it seems it's those frustrating goals that if you've ever played FIFA, you end up wanting to chuck the remote at your mate when he passes it across the 6-yard box and taps into an open net. So disappointing day for Star by all means, and Shire, they're getting a bit of a rhythm going here after a couple of wobbly results early on. They managed to pick up their another 3 points, takes them up to 13 points, and Dalbeattie still sitting low down on the table with just 3 points in. We spoke a lot about Shire at the beginning. I mean, pre-season we spoke about the investment they'd made, some of the big names that they brought in, and at the beginning of the season, I think we all seemed to feel like they were playing a bit as a group of individuals as opposed to a team. Seems like they're starting to gel a lot more. None of those goals that came in that game were individual efforts. They were results of a lot of teamwork. Do you think they're starting to gel a little bit, and do you think they're perhaps maybe that's going to help them, aid them in, I suppose, getting stronger and perhaps pushing up the table a bit more.
Not only are they beginning to gel a wee bit, they're also getting guys back for injury, because I've had a fair few knocks that have been carrying other ones. Like Eddie Malone has been out, he's on the way back. Shaun Brown was unavailable early doors in the season. He's now, well, purely in that one goal where he just bulldozed through. That's what he does best. Just ransacks defences, basically. So he'll be a really key player for them and gives them something a bit different. So they're getting to the point now where they're getting most of their players available, and they're getting used to the kind of tactical setup that the gaffer's given them. Now, the results are still a wee bit in and out. I must admit, I seen quite a bit of the East Kilbride game, the Shire Kilby game, where Kilby's, I'm not going to say stole, but took the points. There wasn't much between them, and the thing that affected Shire that day was a cutting edge. So this is what we've been waiting for in terms of taking the chances that you're given. That's what they need to start doing, and that's exactly what they've done here. Star have had one of those days where they've given a couple of chances away that they'd love to have back, and they've resulted in goals. They've been punished for it. So I think to be honest, for Dalby, it's one of those, put it behind you. We didn't expect to win the game anyway, but just forget about it and move on. You know, it's in terms of Shire, they'll be delighted not just with the 3 points, but the manner of the victory, and as you say, beginning to string some moves together now as well. And I noticed Jamie Dishington's been trying to claim more goals. He seems to be getting a wee bit of a reputation as being a character in that dressing room now, so it's always a good thing to see as well. But I'd expect him to kick on and really challenge some teams now, Shire. Because if they don't, then they might lose track of the kind of the top teams.
Yeah, no, I think you've covered it all. So, you're going to cover off the East Kilbride game against Edinburgh Uni, and yeah, we've had a lot of chat about East Kilbride and their lack of goals. So interested to hear the run through from this one.
Well, funnily enough, it wasn't a weakness this week. Now, one thing just before I get into the game that I do want to cover off. Kilby announced a quite interesting loan signing before it. Kieran McGrath came in from Celtic, a young, exciting attacking player. He started on the bench, but he had an impact later on in the game. So that might be an interesting pick-up for people that have been saying that Kilby need a wee bit more going forward. But I digress. Into the game itself, there was only really one chance of note in the first half, seemingly, and it was a goal for the home side. Ball played into the feet of Craig Malcolm in the edge of the box, laid it off for Paul Woods, and he curled home an absolute beauty from the edge. 1-0. Edinburgh Uni were making things difficult, though, and managed to get it to the break, just with a 1-goal deficit. Malks obviously had some words in the dressing room, got things tweaked a wee bit, and it took another 20 minutes to get the second, but after that it was plain sailing. 65 on the clock, Graham Holmes whipping in a fantastic ball to the back post, and birthday boy Shaun Winter heading home. Not quite the smallest player on the pitch, but again, a wee guy managing to put one in the back of the net with his head. So 2-0, and the last 10 minutes, the doors kind of fell in, basically, for Uni, who were tiring at this point. So 10 minutes left, Craig Malcolm driving into the box, managed to find a gap and slotted the ball past the keeper for 3-0. Straight afterwards, Kieran McGrath came on as a sub for the last 10, and he was involved in the last couple of goals in this one. So the fourth goal came straight after he entered the field of play. Big passing team move. Brady eventually got in the ball, driving through, rolled it into Malcolm, slipped the ball past the defender into Payton, and he made no mistake. Rudy Payton seems to hit the ground running. And the final one in injury time, it was that man McGrath getting on the ball, linking up with Rudy Payton, and then laying the final pass into Craig Malcolm. Plenty of space, slotted the ball home, 5-0, and a resounding victory, exactly what East Kilbride needed.
Yeah, they've grown a bit frustrated with how the season started, and understandably so, especially with some of the the Kelty and the Bonnyrigg starts. But I suppose the most surprising thing about this match was it turned out the way you expected it to turn out, which hasn't been happening of late. So do you know what, because I wouldn't have been surprised if Edinburgh Uni had snuck a 1-1 draw here, because as is always the case with the Lowland League, so there's just surprises going on every single week. But it's not a result that Edinburgh Uni are going to get their heads down about. They've got that win already this season, and we know how tight the bottom of the league's going to be, and that the chances of picking up points against the big teams and the guys at the top is going to be slim. And on the other side of the coin, East Kilbride, they are going to be delighted. It doesn't matter if it's against a team at the top of the table or a team at the bottom. They've gone out, they've dominated, they've done what they needed to do. And for their fans, they've had a few disappointing games at K Park already this season, so it's great for the fans to have been able to go down there and watch their team play like they did all last year, and hopefully for East Kilbride that this is them on the up again after a bit of a sketchy start to the season. But yeah, not much to add, to be honest. That loan signing, I agree, I think that's going to be a biggie, and sometimes you hear the club and you think just because it's coming from that club, this is going to be a big player, but we kind of know that that's not always the case. But he's came in and he's had an impact straight away, which does definitely, that's not the norm. It can take a wee while to get used to the systems in a team and to gel with some of the other players. So yeah, that could be a bit of a missing piece sorted for East Kilbride, and it'll be interesting to watch him over the next few weeks.
Yeah, I think it's important to kind of view what their start to the season's been in context as well, because bear in mind this is a team that got a result against St Mirren in the Betfred. So we don't want to be jumping to conclusions too quickly. They've clearly got the talent,
yeah,
and they clearly know what they're doing, and I feel that some people out there are dismissing them far too quickly. They've not had that bad a start, all things told, because we've spoken about this a lot. All the big teams in the league are going to draw points against each other and potentially against other sides that you might expect to be lower half. So I wouldn't be too concerned, and I think you're bang on to say they'll be delighted with this and kick on with it, because they're too good not to, ultimately. And regardless of what happens, they're going to challenge, aren't they?
Aye, they've had a couple of wobbly results, particularly at home, but yeah, I'd agree. It's no panic stations for East Kilbride. Certainly not to the extent that you hear some of across the press. I don't know if I can go around that anymore. But yeah, they win their game in hand, and do you know what? If they'd played 7 and they'd won that game in hand, they'd be sitting third in the league, and everybody would be looking a wee bit differently at East Kilbride here. They've a very good side. Miles has done we've always been quite fond of him as a manager in this league, and to be honest, he seems like a genuinely good guy. But he's doing really well to keep his team together through this sort of. They have took quite a lot of criticism. He's keeping them together, and they're going to come out the other side stronger, and they're going to do what they always do and finish well up the table. So
that leads us on to the last 3 games of the slate for the weekend, and into the least competitive scoreline, I'll say, of the weekend. So do you want to run us through Kelty at home to Gretna? Yeah,
Kelty sitting second against Gretna, sitting second bottom. Do you know what? Final result, it was 10-0, a double digit win here for Kelty. So what I'll do is I'm just going to run through the goal scorers. I'm not going to try and give you a running commentary, otherwise we're going to eat into a lot of time. The highlights will be up there for anybody who wants to go in and watch them. But it took 9 minutes for Kelty to open the scoring. Yeah, it was that big signing from the pre-season Nathan Austin who was able to open the scoring, pretty much just dominating up front, as he seems to have done quite consistently throughout the season. It was a bit quiet, and it wasn't until the 23rd minute that Kelty were able to get their second, this time coming from another Murray Carstairs header. On the 34th minute, it was Chris Dodds who bagged the third for Kelty. 36 minutes in, it was a Scott Linton free kick again going over the wall and into the bottom corner to give Kelty a 4-0 lead. They took this 4-0 lead into half time and then came back out. It was quiet for a good 10 minutes before Nathan Austin was able to grab his second way. A low drive, basically quite nicely played across the keeper, hit the inside of the post before going in. 4 minutes later, it was a hat-trick for Nathan Austin as he bagged his third and 11th league goal of the season for Kelty. 68 minutes later, and it was Nathan Austin that got his fourth and final, and it was a header that again hitting off the post and going in to make it 7-0 to Kelty. Nathan Austin was subbed off shortly after, and it was Doddsy that picked up the reins. So Chris Dodds got his second of the game to put the tally up to 8 for the day. 6 minutes later, on the 75th minute, Chris Dodds got his hat-trick, and it was Linton's free kick that was stopped by Copland, but the ball went back into the path of Chris Dodds, who slotted the ball home. On another 5 minutes later, it was Chris Dodds again, this time getting his fourth and making it 10-0 to Kelty, and a special mention to young 16-year-old Tyler McKenzie, who came on for the last 10 minutes as well. But full-time result, 10-0 to Kelty. So it was another dominating result by Kelty. The team are really playing well as a whole unit. They've obviously they had Shaun McCarthy, who was out after taking a knock midweek. Dylan Easton, he's still got a couple of months out, so they're also without him at the moment. So the team's looking strong. There's not much to add, and from the Gretna side of things, they came up, and I don't think they were expecting the win. They'll probably be disappointed with the scoreline. It would be hard not to, but they showed some moments where they did play some really good football, and they're definitely a team that's struggling a bit with squad depth. Didn't have a lot to play with on the bench. Perhaps scoreline isn't what you would expect, but the result is, and it was another win for Kelty. What were your thoughts when you saw that result pop up?
I must admit, anytime you see a double-digit score, it makes your eyes open. And as much as I expected Kelty to win this, I didn't necessarily expect it to be that convincing a scoreline. So we mentioned earlier about Vela leaving, saying when's the time to start worrying. I think for Gretna, the time to worry is probably sooner. What do you reckon?
Gretna have got a big game coming up, which we'll get onto the previews, but they definitely need to pick up some points, because they've had a few disappointing results. However, midweek they managed to pick up a point against Cumbernauld Colts, which some credit has to be taken there. And when they went along to Ainsley Park, they were only beaten by the 1, so they've took some big defeats, which has given them that massive goal difference. I think East Stirling beat them by a lot of goals as well, and Kelty Hearts have now done the same. Do you see, you take those two couple of games out of it, and I think they've had some not terrible results. Cali Braves only just beat them, Spartans only just beat them. They picked up a point against Cumbernauld Colts, and they've still got to play Vale twice, Dalbeattie twice, University of Edinburgh twice, Berwick twice. So there's 5 teams that are sitting with less than 3 points, and Dalbeattie haven't played any of them yet. So until we see some of these teams play each other that are sort of towards the bottom of the table, I think they're in a similar boat. It's a bit shocking when you first look and you see those initial goal difference figures and the lack of points after as many games, but they're playing against the guys mid and top table. So and like I say, some of the results aren't actually, just to only get beat 1-0 off his Spartans. I think sometimes even your BSEs, Kelties, Bonnyrigg, Shires, East Kilbride, they would take a 1-0 defeat against Spartans at Ainsley Park as a decent result. Not the result they would want, but it's Spartans at Ainsley Park. So I think not to worry yet, but they need to rack up some points soon.
Yeah, I think that's pretty kind of nicely summed up. terms of Kelty, I suspect the big test will come when they play against the teams that are there and thereabouts. The Bonnyriggs, the Stirlingshires, the BSEs. It will be very, very interesting in the next few weeks to see exactly where these teams are stacking up against each other. East Kilbride don't need to throw into that mix as well, actually. Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a next few weeks. I can say that much at both ends of the table. But yeah, we'll lead on to the next game, which was, funnily enough, at Ainsley Park. Spartans playing host to Cumbernauld Colts in our game of the week. It was a hell of a game, and again, it was a story of a young loanee coming in from one of the big clubs. In this case, Spartans have just managed to seal Leroy apologies in advance for this pronunciation, folks. Macavora. We'll go with that. So, is it any wonder that Spartans are referring to him as Leroy? I'll just put it out there. All their tweets are saying Leroy, but he was involved in everything good in the first half, which was very much Spartans' half. 25 minutes on the clock. We'll go with Leroy. Goes past defenders, but ultimately his effort was blocked. And 37 on the clock, he had another great chance, but pulled it straight to the keeper. He's getting himself into positions, giving the Colts all sorts of issues, and ultimately it ended up breaking the deadlock. I didn't actually get who scored the first goal, but I can tell you the second. Aaron Morrell put it away from 20 yards out, and it was a first time ball from that guy Leroy Macavora. So he's been involved in everything good. 44 minutes just before half time, and it was 3-0, and it was Maxey with a finish after a clever dummy from Aaron. So they've clearly got some understanding immediately off the bat, which is great signs for Spartans. Half time 3-0, you thought that's game over. You can never write off Cumbernauld Colts, especially with the start of the season they've had. So they came roaring back. 53 minutes on the clock, they got their first goal with Wright finishing from a cutback. They ended up hitting the post on 20 yards just before that as well. But Spartans were still having a decent time themselves. Dean Hoskins put a good shot wide, just 8 yards out on the angle from a corner. But straight after that, just over 10 minutes left, Colts got their second goal. Stephen Tart with a close range header from a great ball into the box. And it was siege mentality for the last 10 minutes. Shots raining down on both goals when Spartans managed to counter. But Colts really pushing for the equaliser. Blue Carswell made a couple of really good saves. The main chance with 3 minutes left went to that man Tart again. Danger free kick, and he nodded it wide from 5 yards when it looked easier to score, and he'd only just put a header away as well. The final act of the game, 94 minutes, right in the depth of injury time, corner to Cumbernauld. There was a push by one of the Colts attackers in the box, and that was the end of that. Basically, Spartans held on for a much needed and very valuable 3-2-1, and Colts will be disappointed not to have pulled it all back in the end. What do you reckon?
Yeah, Spartans will be delighted with that, especially after the midweek defeat that they had along at New Central Park. I'm pretty sure that would have been a tough one. So to come back and to win this match, I think they're going to be a bit frustrated with how it ended, because they looked like they were sailing, they were dominating, and they've let the heats go down, or they've relaxed a little bit too much and let Cumbernauld Colts back into the game, which you don't want to do with any side, but especially not Cumbernauld Colts. On the flip side, Cumbernauld Colts, I think they must be feeling a bit frustrated. 1 point in their last 3 games after an extremely good start to the season is going to be it's definitely going to be a frustration for these guys, because they looked like kind of the surprise team of the season at the beginning there, and they've dropped back a little bit. It's early days, and they had games against Spartans and Bonnyrigg in there, so by no means was it an easy stretch of games. But after that confident win that they had against Kelty Hearts, I'm sure they would have liked to have carried a bit of momentum in there. They've got a tough game coming up next week, where they'll be looking to bounce back at home against East Kilbride. But it's not going to be an easy game, and they could potentially be looking at 1 point in 4 games, which is a that's going to be a frustration after the high they would have been on 3-4 games into the season. Early doors, and they're not exactly sitting uncomfortably way beneath the top of the table, but they are going to need to bounce back a little bit.
Yeah, I totally agree. In terms of Spartans, they, on the flip side, had a wee bit of a dodgy start by their high expectations, I think. Is it fair to say that now, very much on the flip side, they're ready to get motoring again?
Yeah, you would hope so. And Spartans are, they are a very consistent team, so they kind of thrive off of that, having a bit of discipline, a bit of structure, and a bit of consistency. And they need to start kind of wrapping that up a little bit. They've got they had a tough game there against Cumbernauld, Kelty before that, and next week they face Civil Service Strollers. So it's a tough run of games that they've got there. But if they can go and take something away from Civil at the weekend, away from home, I think they'll be quite happy and they'll be able to kick on from there.
Yeah, big North Edinburgh derby next weekend. But before we get into next week's fixtures, we've got one last one to run through, and it's for one of the kind of real success stories early doors in this season, University of Stirling playing host to Gallifrey Rovers. So, do you want to run us through it?
It was University of Stirling welcoming Gallifrey Rovers. 5 minutes in, it was actually Robbie McGill that took a nice early lead for the University of Stirling. They unfortunately were only able to hold on to that lead for 11 minutes before Gala were able to pull one back to make it one each. A relatively quiet first half. Went in at half time at 1-1, and to be honest, the start of the second half was pretty similar as well, with both teams having a few chances, but no side able to break the deadlock. Gala will be a little bit frustrated, and I suppose University of Stirling on the flip side will be delighted. In the 88th minute, Craig Brown was able to slot home to give University of Stirling a 2-1 win. As always, we had David Chandler getting the thoughts of University of Stirling gaffer Chris Geddes, so we'll have a little listen to that.
Well, Chris, two teams who tend to be fairly evenly matched, and that proved to be the case today.
Yep. Well, in previous years it's been like that. It's pretty tight, and then obviously Gala have got basically a whole new squad, new management, so we didn't know what to expect, but it was a tough game for both teams, considering both played Wednesday as well. Both teams looked a bit leggy at the end, so but we're obviously delighted in there to get 3 points.
I thought Gala started well, but you edged your way into the game and then got that crucial first goal.
Yeah, Robbie was playing off Kieran today, and he's obviously got in behind. His keeper's made a good save, and then he's turned and put the rebound in really well, so that was a really good start for us after Gala had started the first few minutes a bit better, and then the game kind of just went a wee bit flat. Both teams hustle bustle, not a lot of chances, and then Gala scored a goal from a header inside the 18-yard box, a good cross from their right winger who was dangerous in the first half, and then it was 1-1, and then the rest of the half was a bit even. We didn't play very good, we weren't very happy with our performance, but so to get in at 1-1 at half time, we were quite happy.
So what did you say to the boys at half time then?
I just told them, it's in football, if managers say, we want 3 points, that's the easy part. It's the players on the park who have to go and get it, so they've got to want to get 3 points as well. And it was a great opportunity coming off Wednesday night, 3 points to get another 3 today, and obviously we kept going. I think we showed we were the fitter and stronger team, because as they died with 10-15 to go, we kept going forward, and the play was mostly in their half. So just told them to basically go and want it, do you know what I mean, and not do it for me or anyone else, do it for yourself and the people who come watch it, because you've got to want to do it, and they did. Great.
And the winning goal started with the secret weapon, the Callum Downey long throw.
Yeah, Mark doesn't like the long throw-ins. He'll have a go at me for saying that, but yeah, it came into the box, and obviously Craig's put the finish away in the corner. So really happy for Craig, because he's, for such a talented football player, his shooting this season's not been it's not been to the standard that he expects it to be. So for him to get the winner, I'm delighted for him, and obviously for us to get the 3 points, I'm delighted going into we play Montrose first team in a friendly on Tuesday night, and then obviously Edinburgh Uni in the league next Saturday.
Chris, thank you very much.
Thanks, David.
As always, thanks to those guys for their support. Yeah, University of Stirling have had a really good start to the season, especially when you look at some of the amount of movement across the league. And the pre-season was huge, with players going in and out, and University Stirling were certainly on the wrong end of that, with a lot of players going out, which is always going to happen with university sides, but they had some big names leave in the summer, but they've came back in, and Chris has done a fantastic job at keeping these guys together, and they're pulling out some really good wins. When in their close matches they're able to do enough to get the points, and they've had some pretty dominating wins this season already, so I think they'll be quite happy. Gala, I don't think they can be too disappointed. They were away from home. They've had an okay start to the season as well. They've managed to put some separation between themselves and the guys at the bottom. Away from home though, it's going to be tough for anybody, and your sides that are down towards the borders, travelling up the way, it's always going to put a bit of strain when you've got that added travel with these guys that are working full time outside of playing football. So do you know what, it wasn't an embarrassing defeat. It seems like they put up a good fight, and I think they'll take that result. I'm no doubt would they rather have gone back down the road with a point, and they'll be frustrated that it slipped away in the 88th minute. But definitely an interesting result, really close game, and it's kind of what you'd expect for these two sides.
Obviously Gala have got a very interesting tie the weekend we'll get into shortly, but they'll be a wee bit gutted not to get a point, I think. That's a game this time last season that University are still on draw, I reckon. So it says a lot to Chris Geddes and the way he's prepared them this year, that they've gone and they've won the difficult game ultimately. They could have gone either way. They've had a brilliant start. We need to give a shout out to not just the manager, but also the boys there as well. When you consider the players they lost in the summer, and they've shown no ill effects of it, have they? So Matty Burrow's been a bit of a revelation up front. It's interesting as well, given that I always thought he was a right back. So fair play. But another great result for the Uni. Almost at the point now where I'd say that they're going to be safe. And I know it's very early to say that, but I've just seen enough out of them now that I think they don't really have much to worry about below them, unless they have some kind of seismic collapse going forward. I actually think Gala should be alright as well, to be honest. I've been impressed with them because I didn't know what to expect after a lot of upheaval in the summer, so I think credit needs to go to both clubs, the way they've acquitted themselves so far, and they'll look to keep it going and ultimately find themselves a nice safe mid-table placement and keep pushing as high as they can.
The big difference between with these guys and your team for 13th down is they're able to score goals, and they're not conceding big chunks of goals in games at the moment. So they're going in, and ultimately if you can score goals you're giving yourself a chance, and so far they've proven that they can do that. So I'd agree, it's early doors. Ultimately they should be able to do something here. Before obviously we get on to the previews, we're just sticking with reviewing the games. I think one thing that's going to help a lot of guys is the under-20 squads. We've seen a few guys, including strollers, add under-20 squads, so I think it's worth giving a wee shout out. We'll not go through the results, but the development league has got underway, and Spartan, Strollers, Kelty and BSC, they've all made winning starts in their first one or two games, and that's what you really want to see, because at this level we want to see guys coming up through the ranks, something that we've seen from Spartans in the past, seen a little bit from Kelty as well. Strollers getting involved in there as well. Really good start, and a shout out to the under-20s teams there, because it's great to see that league getting up and going as well.
Absolutely, and it always seems to provide great entertainment for people going along as well. So if you find yourself at a loose end, it's usually a Friday night you see a lot of games on. Make sure you have a look and see if any games are local to you, because you're going to see ultimately the starters of tomorrow playing. But there you go, cheap plug for the Development League. Into the games next weekend, and we're mainly on league business, but there's one game in particular that sticks out as a real once in a lifetime occasion type game. but I'll let you run through them and we'll talk about them as we go.
Yeah, Kelty Hearts welcoming Solihull Moors in the chocolate biscuit or caramel wafer Challenge Cup. So yeah, Solihull Moors, a full-time side playing down in the 5th tier of English football. Are making the trip up to New Central Park. It's arguably one of the biggest fixtures in Kelty Hearts history, and it should be an interesting one just to kind of see, I suppose, where it's always good to see how the league as a whole is faring up against other leagues in and around the country. So it's going to be a tough game for them. Have you had the chance to have a look at anything or much around Solihull? What's your kind of expectations for this match?
I don't know much about the team themselves, but the level they're playing at is ultra competitive, because that's the level where teams are desperately clawing to get back into League 2 down south. So you've got some really well-known names in that league that are looking to bounce back. When you look at the teams that have gone through it, the likes of Hereford and Stockport and so on, going the wrong way. Last year Salford made the jump up, and Salford's a team that was getting Adam Rooney off Aberdeen, bear in mind. So there's clearly a wee bit of money at that level. Solihull don't seem to be as big spending as Salford were, but ultimately they're a full-time team. They've got a much bigger budget. It's a real challenge for Kelty, but I think it's a challenge they'll embrace, and it'll be a really interesting fixture, because it's not every day you're going to face a team from another country, albeit down south of the border, in a competitive game like this for a club at our level. So the league's behind them. Let's hope they give a good account of themselves and maybe even get a result or take it to penalties.
Yeah, no, I would agree, and I think right now in the league, if there was a side and a time that you kind of wanted to represent the league, I think Kelty are in that place where, do you know what, they'll be coming off the back of that 10-0 victory. They're gelling well as a team, and do you know what, if Solihull come up without any respect for the team, I think they could shoot themselves in the foot early. So it'll be an interesting fixture, but definitely a tough tie. So yeah, going on to the league business next in the Lowland League. First and foremost, I'm very pleased with what Chris has started up on Twitter, with putting it out to the listeners to decide on what the game of the week is, because I think you could pick more or less every game. We've got a battle of the unis, we've got a couple of sides that are at the bottom of the league facing off, loads of sides that are up at the top. We spoke a lot in our reviews this week about how it's been bottom against top a few mid-table clashes. This week we're seeing a wee bit more games with teams that are around about themselves, so it should be a belt, and I'm looking forward to getting my vote in and seeing what everybody else votes on for the game of the week next week. But in no particular order, we'll kick off with the league leaders Bonnyrigg Rose, who are going to be welcoming BSC Glasgow along to New Dundas Park. Two teams that are, they're on a bit of a high at the moment, stringing some decent results together. For me personally, I would have to give the edge to Bonnyrigg Rose, and to be honest, I'm purely doing that based on the fact that it's at New Dundas Park. What about yourself? Bias out of the equation. What do you think for this one?
Even with the bias in the equation, I think Bonnyrigg are the favourites, because as much as I fancy BSC to be able to get something out of that game, they're where they are on merit. They're very, very good at home, and I think it's going to be a really interesting game. I'm looking forward to it. And it'll be my second visit to New Dundas. First time I went, it was a cracking day. Fingers crossed it'll be the same. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I can't call it. I'll be honest, I'd be happy to go away with a point, but we'll see how it all shakes out.
Next up, we've got a bit of an Edinburgh derby, as we mentioned earlier on in the podcast. We've got civil service strollers welcoming Spartans. For myself, do you know what? I've got to give the edge to the home side in this one. Civil they've dominated early on, and they've done what they needed to do. I do believe Spartans went to to play Civil last season and managed to pick up points away from home towards the end of the season. So they'll be looking to repeat there. Really good result for Spartans on Saturday, so they've got every chance, but I think I've got to give the edge to Strollers to win this, probably just by a goal, I would say. What about yourself, Derek? What do you reckon?
I'm going to sit on that fence again. I do think Civil's more likely to take the 3 points purely based on the way the season started, but I can't bet against Spartans in an Edinburgh derby. So, as you say, last season Spartans did well in a big game away at Civil. I'll sit on the fence and we'll say a draw on that one as well.
Cool. And then we have Cumbernauld Colts welcoming East Kilbride along to Broadwood. So East Kilbride coming off a pretty dominant win against Edinburgh Uni, and Colts coming off a string of results that they probably won't be happy with. However, I'm going to go against the momentum on this one, and I think Colts playing on that big pitch, looking to sort of right the ship. I think they're going to win, so I feel a trend coming on here that I'm pretty sure will be bucked a little bit later on, but I'm going to go for the home side again and say Colts win over East Kilbride.
Home side, Shaun. I'm going to go Kilby in this one. I think with it had been a wee bit of a different pick if Colts had the run of form that hadn't petered out a wee bit. I think Kilby, now that they're coming off a good result, I fancy them to keep it going and Colts to get frustrated here. So Kilby by a couple of goals for me, I think.
Next up, we've got a University derby with Edinburgh Uni welcoming University of Stirling to East Peffermill. And yeah, I'm going to go against it this time and say that the away side, who have made a really good start to their season, they've came in, they've managed to put 12 goals away, and I know they're away from home, but Edinburgh University, I've just not seen enough of them, both when I've been there and on paper, for them to be able to get the win over University Stirling. You know what, I think it's going to be quite a comfortable win for University Stirling as well. How about yourself?
I'll go with that. I'll go with Chris Guerra's side. Although I won't say comfortable, I think it'll be narrower. Maybe the odd goal here or there, but yeah, you can't really put too much confidence behind a University derby pick, but I think Stirling go in as a favourites in that one.
These belter fixtures don't come to an end. Next up, we've got Gala Ferrydean Rovers welcoming Berwick Rangers down to Netherdales. Yes, that's another tough one to call. Berwick, a very experienced side, going up against, to be honest, a Gala Ferrydean side that have frankly they've had a far better start to the season. However, I think Berwick are going to do enough away from home to pinch a point here. But I don't think they'll be able to get the win, and I don't think Gala are going to get the win either, so I'm going to go for a draw.
Controversial opinion on it. Gala to win 3 points. And I'm purely basing that on the fact that I don't think Berwick have adjusted quite yet. Obviously, we mentioned it in the first kind of synopsis of the game against Civil that they're getting there, there's improvements being made. They've got their only 3 points against Edinburgh Uni. I just feel like Gala are a better side just now than what Uni are. And it might be a wee bit out there, but I fancy them to do the business at home.
Cool. And yeah, I will not be surprised to see that happen either. Next up, we've got battle at the foot of the table, one that we've mentioned a couple of times in today's podcast that we're kind of looking forward to seeing. So we've got two sides with 13 games between them and only 4 goals scored. It is Gretna welcoming Dalbeattie Star down to Rydale. Yeah, for this one, I think Dalbeattie are going to take the points against Gretna. Although Gretna's result against Cumbernauld was quite impressive at home, I still think Dalbeattie are going to go there. I just get the feeling that Dalbeattie understand the urgency of this one a little bit more. That's the feeling I seem to be getting. What about yourself? It's a tough one to call, I think.
It's a really tough one. part of me says to expect as many red cards as goals. I don't know why, but I'm going to sit in the fence. I reckon a draw there, which wouldn't suit either team, let's be honest. But I'm just not confident enough behind either side to put them forward for the 3 points at this point, I don't think.
The team sitting at foot of the table, Vale Leithen, going up against that Cali Braves side that are going to be looking to build up a bit of momentum after some sort of yo-yo results over the last few weeks. So I'm personally going to go for Cali Braves, even though they're away from home. I don't think Vale are going to see their first point of the season in next week's fixture. How about yourself?
I'm going with that as well. I fancy Cali Braves to get back in the winning trail. And it's going to be another tough result for Vale if that's the case.
Let us know what fixture stands out to you guys for a game of the week. For me personally, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing that Gretna Star one. That's personally my game of the week. Have you got one that stands out for yourself?
If I'm being totally biased, it's going to be the BSC game, let's be honest. But no, I think purely for novelty's sake, that Kelty Solihull game, just because it's very rare you get a game that you genuinely don't know what to expect. And that's what that is. Just anything could happen. Who knows? But if I wasn't going to the Bonnyrigg BSC game, I'd definitely be heading along to Fife for that one. And I'm sure that all the league's giving best wishes to Barry and the boys for that challenge this weekend as well. In
an effort to not make this a bumper edition of the Lowland League Catchup, will we do the usual plugs?
Yeah, let's do it. So start off with the account itself for the podcast, at Official Catchup on Twitter, and courtesy of Shaun, you'll find us on Facebook. And then into our personal plugs, I'll let you go first, Shaun.
Thank you. I'm not quite ready. So for myself, you can find me on Twitter at Spedding Shaun, and for yourself,
at Moza Plays, 2 Z's in there on Twitter, and you'll find me anywhere else from there, basically. So thanks again for listening. Just the duo this week, the trio will be reunited next week, no doubt. And thanks very much for all the feedback, all the opinions, all the votes as well on the games of the week. Much appreciated. You'll see another poll go out shortly, no doubt, so please do vote in it and make your voice heard, because this is the first week where genuinely I can't pick one. I'm sure Shaun's the same, so give us a hand, please. But let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about that we might have missed, if there's any feedback you've got for us, and until next time, we will catch you later.
See you later.